wanted to mention, oh, yes.
Second, sorry. 26th of June, Rabbi Levitt,
Zion.
Chofetz Chaim. Yes, I'm sorry, Rabbi, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention, I sent an email to everybody in the shir about a sefer that I'm endorsing from my good friend and neighbor, Rabbi Jonas and David Arrhenius, and I have a copy of it here. He gave me a copy to show people, and maybe I could. Do you ever see people in person that you could show them the Sefer? Like people in the class, I'm saying.
Hey, Alan.
Alan, okay. So that's something. I'll yeah, because I really think that people would enjoy it. It's got so much information. It's unbelievable, and it's a very, very organized, and it has charts and dates of when all the events took place.
What's the topic?
The topic is from Sinai to Eretz Yisrael, and it's based it's sort of like a running commentary on Sefer Bamidbar.
Ah,
It's very, very nice Sefer, and it's a reduced price, directly from the author for 70 shekel.
I'd like to get a copy.
Great. So I'll maybe I could drop it off by you today.
That'd be terrific.
I mean, he gave me a copy. I see that it has a little thing over here. I don't know whether that's why he gave me this one. I mean, it's not noticeable, but okay, I could drop this one off.
All right, and then I'll show it to Alan in Hashem.
Yeah, and then I'll ask him for another one that I can show on the Zoom.
Yeah, good idea.
To interest people.
Yeah, I've had very good success with the books you've recommended in the past.
Oh yeah, which ones did I recommended the book about Moshe Reifman.
Yeah, that was very good.
And what was another one I did? Oh, Rabbi Siegel, maybe?
Yeah. That's the one I haven't looked at yet.
Yeah, you have to find time to look at these books. What?
I really like the Moshe Reifman book.
Yeah.
And very inspiring.
Yeah. It's history. It's not just a biography, it's history.
Right. And I've been into history lately.
Yeah.
I switched from reading science fiction books to history books. Upgrading my my repertoire.
Very good. Yeah. Well, this is really this is the classic history of the Jewish people from Sinai to Eretz Yisrael. So it's because there's so many facts that he brings it all down, and with a lot of the Meforshim he goes through. Very, very nice layout. It's a revised. He just came out with a revision. I think that's why he's trying to market it as much as he can. It's not an art scroll, so it needs its own marketing.
Right, not easy.
Yeah. I told him he should put it down in the Mir Yeshiva.
You know what? I just realized my wife learns with Um, um, Mayor's wife.
Oh, yeah?
So
Really?
I can ask her to show it to, I can ask her to give it to her and then she can show it to Meir.
Okay.
Yeah, they learn once a week.
Oh, very nice. Over the Zoom.
No, in person.
Oh, wow. Very good.
Yeah, if it was over the Zoom, it'd be hard for her to give her the book.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right. That I hear. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. All you could do is just, you could show this very attractive cover with the,
Right.
it doesn't have any color pictures, but it's all, it has a very nice cover. Okay. Anyway, so Roy, I think, is at the pain clinic today.
Right.
I hope he's getting some benefit over there from being there.
Yeah, me too. Thank God I don't know what a micron is.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, right? Okay, so we are in Chofetz Chaim over here.
Right.
And we are up to, we're in Klau's Yud, and we're up to Sif Zion.
Oh, we made progress. Let's see. Zion. Okay, I see it.
That's where we got up to. Okay. So how would you like to do it? Do you like to read it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I'll just read the English, okay?
Okay.
We will now elaborate on the third condition mentioned above in Sif 2. As recorded there, he must first reprimand him. In other words, if you know that somebody is doing something wrong, and you feel like you need to tell people about it, the second condition is that you have to seek out the person who is the accused perpetrator, and it says reprimand him. I would think the first thing you'd want to do is confirm with him that he did it, that he's doing it, or whatever, that it's, that he doesn't have a reason.
Okay. So that's the I'm just looking at right now in the Chofetz Chaim mentioned that.
Well, the first condition, I think, was that you have to have firsthand knowledge. You have to really know that it's that it's true.
Has to know that it's true.
But it could be that there's some extenuating circumstance that you're not aware of. That, if you talk to the person and you say, hey, I saw that you were trying to steal somebody's bicycle.
No,
He'll say, no, you're misunderstanding. I wasn't trying to steal the bicycle. I was trying to rescue it because I was afraid that it would be stolen by somebody else, for example.
He speaks in the Sif Aleph already, the very beginning. If he sees his friend doing something usher, so in the middle of that discussion, he says, "V'no delaba beirur," and it's known to the onlooker with a clarity, shelo heshivlo esagzela. He has not returned the stolen item that he stole. Velo shilem lo esnizkoi, and he has not paid him for the damage that he caused him. Velo bikesh panav lahavir lo alavono. He has not apologized and asked for forgiveness for what he did to him. So if he doesn't know that, afilu ro davar zeh b'yechidi. Oh, yeah. So he has to know that in fact it's an avera was done, and he has to know that he hasn't done tshuva on the avera that he did. So you're asking, does he have to know that before he gives him this reprimand? I would say takif esa inyan bedato legazel barak is in hativ es etzema inyan imhu al pidin beklal gazel or hezek. Okay. It's a good question. In other words, he looks a little foolish by starting to reprimand him, and then the person says, "Well, you don't really know what you're talking about because I was just protecting his bicycle."
Right. Right.
Yeah. This is always it's actually, I think, one of the main reasons why people don't reprimand other people, because they say, maybe I don't know the whole story over here. Unless you see somebody, that's so often the case. They don't want to say anything if they don't even know what it is that they're talking about, right? They don't know the whole story.
Right. Not only that, but how do you find out? I mean, let's say I see somebody, Jimmy, the door of a car open. My neighbor's car is sitting out in front of his house. It's locked.
You know that it's your neighbor's car. You know it's not this person's car, and he's breaking.
I see him come up and use one of those devices that you can use to open a car. Locksmiths use them to open a door. I see him do that, and he opens the door.
Yeah.
And he reaches in and takes something out.
Yeah.
And then he closes the door, and he walks away. So now, how am I going to find out? I can talk to my friend and say, try and dance around the issue so that I don't reveal to him what I saw. I ask him, are you missing anything from your car or whatever? But it's I would think one of the avenues would be to go up to the person and say, hey, what's going on here? I saw you doing that. Why did you do it?
Yeah, you could say, hey, I know that this is my neighbor's car. Excuse me, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You confronted him. You didn't reprimand him. You didn't embarrass him or shame him. But that will be the and even the Chofetz Chaim says over here, right in the next I mean, he says it's this tochacha itself. He says is done bitchila initially b'lashon raka, with soft words.
Right.
Ulai yuchal lahoilo yetiv al yidei zeh esdrachav. But right. So if initially you don't know whether or not this person is actually doing anything which is an avera, but it certainly looks like he is, so then you can't accuse him of doing an avera, but you could confront him, and that would be your way of determining whether or not he's doing. What if he says, if you know what's good for you, you'll get out of here. So then you know that the guy is a goslin.
Right. And you know,
and then you probably should get out there.
Well, depending on how big he is, yeah. But if we look at the case of Miriam, so she had very good reason to believe that she knew what was happening. Because Tzipporah told her that Moshe had separated from her. But nevertheless, she didn't really know completely, because she even Tzipporah, thought that the other prophets would separate too, and that was not true. And I don't know if Miriam knew that it was a direct command from Hashem that Moshe should separate. So, if she had gone to Moshe and asked him, not necessarily rebuked him, but asked him, what's going on? I understand you separated. How come? I think that would be more appropriate than saying, Moshe, you're doing the wrong thing, before she finds out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be that their intention in speaking to Aaron was do you know anything about this, or like, to my knowledge, I've never heard of such a thing. Like, what does being a Navi have to do with not being married?
Well, I think if she was just asking Aaron, are you aware of this? That probably would have been okay. That would have been coming under the classification of a legitimate investigation. Although, I mean, she is informing him in the process. So you could say, well, it's Lashon Hara because she's informing him. But I mean, you have to, how are you going to investigate? If you can't go to the person's brother and say, are you aware of what's happening? Then it's kind of hard to imagine you can do anything to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about a case that I actually heard. We have a book of the theme is Gan Chavskus. It's examples of situations that where you tend to jump to conclusions. So in this case, it was a woman saw the Mexican gardener that worked in the area, and he was at the bicycle of either her son or somebody she knew, and he was trying to break the lock on the bicycle, and so she yelled at him, and he ran away. And so she told people, this watch out for this guy. I saw him trying to steal a bicycle. Turns out that one of his clients, her son had lost the key to his bicycle. And she asked the gardener if he could break the lock so that they could get the bicycle. And the gardener apparently went to the wrong bicycle. He was confused about which bicycle it was that he was supposed to be working on.
Uh-huh.
So he was innocent. The fact that he ran away was not indicative. He ran away because he was scared that he didn't want to get into trouble or whatever, but it wasn't because he was guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So what should the woman have done? She could have gone to the owner of the bicycle and said, I saw this guy at your bicycle, but then that wouldn't have worked because the owner would have said, let's have him arrested, because it wasn't the right bicycle. So it's a case where there was nothing she could do, but what should she have done? She should have investigated, I think, before she just assumed.
Yeah, like we said, I know, excuse me, I know this bicycle doesn't belong to you. What are you doing over here?
Right. Maybe instead of yelling at him, she should have just approached him with soft words and said, "Can I help you? You're having trouble," or something like that. She may have been afraid though. I mean, this was a Mexican worker, probably a strong may. If he was a gardener, he was probably fairly strong, and she
Hi,
may have
Alan.
been intimidated.
Oh, I'll ask Lou to send you a link. You're having trouble getting in? Okay. Oh, okay. Fine. Hey. Alan needs a link.
All right, I'm sending it right now.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I sent it. All right, so at any rate, certainly, if he has done his investigation somehow and he knows for sure, he's still got to go to the person, unless he's afraid, and discuss it with the person, give the person a chance to do tshuva.
Right. Yeah, because his main point over here, we have to remember, the main point in giving tochacha, this reprimand, really is because you're interested to help the person to better his ways.
Right.
It's not it's not Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, learning when he was talking about the mitzvah of tochach. He says people think that the mitzvah of tochach, of giving reprimand, is that you're acting as Hashem's policeman. And he says Hashem doesn't need policemen. The mitzvah is if you take a look at where the mitzvah of tochacha is, it's together with all the mitzvahs of Bein Adam Chavero, one of them which is V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love your friend as much as you love yourself, if that's possible. At any rate, but the point is that to do good things for your friend. That's the point of tochacha. It's not so much that it's a chiddush, because we saw in the Peleotes says, oh, you have to stand up for people only stand up for their own honor. Somebody denigrates them, oh boy, do they start with no holds barred what they will say and do to somebody who denigrated their honor. But what about the denigrating Hashem's honor? Well, why are we not zealous of Hashem's honor? That's the way so he understands that there is a certain element over here in the mitzvah of tochacha of kvod shemayim. So it has to be done in a way that at least initially doesn't embarrass the person.
Right. But I think there's also another factor, which is that there's really two things you're trying to accomplish with this reprimand. One is what you just said. The other is you're trying to protect the victim. So I don't know that really changes anything about how you go about it, but you have to be prepared that if it doesn't work, then you go on to the next sif and the next condition until you either get to the point where you have to say something or not.
Right. That's what we right. If he doesn't accept the tochacha, then you go on, as you say, to the next to condition 4 and condition 5 and 6 and 7, and if they've all been fulfilled, so then and one of them is that the speaking about this to other people. One of the possible benefits that there will be to speaking about it to other people, which is that perhaps they can help right the wrong. They're in a position to right the wrong.
Yeah,
you're speaking not just to ordinary people on the street, but the people that are in a position to help the victim.
Right. Okay, so Viker, however, if he knows that the person will be unmoved by his words and will not accept his rebuke, then he is not obligated to admonish.
Okay.
However, he must take care to relate the account in the presence of at least 3 people.
Oh.
I never heard that before.
Now he's going to explain why.
Yeah, the reason is, if he relates this matter in the presence of only 1 or 2 people, it will appear as though he is trying to prevent his report from reaching Shimon's ears. Oh, Shimon is the perpetrator in this example. So it might be misunderstood, I guess, that what is the purpose of the person who is speaking Lashon Hara? He might create the impression that he wishes to flatter Shimon and deceive him, while condemning him in private behind his back. This gives the appearance to the listeners that he is deriving pleasure from speaking Lashon Hara about his fellow. Another reason why he must relate the information to three people is that if he relates it in private, people will come to suspect him of lying. They will say that this account is clearly untrue and that he is fabricating it. People will reason that if this was not the case, and the report was in fact accurate, why did he not confront Shimon directly about his misdeed? And consequently, his account will not achieve any of the constructive purposes we set forth above in Sif 4. Which is given the listener's skepticism. So all of this is to avoid the impression that he's got an ulterior motive of some kind. Therefore, to ensure that his report will be treated seriously, he must relate the matter publicly. That is, in the presence of three people. Because doing so is akin to speaking in Shimon's presence. The listeners will no longer suspect that he's fabricating it, because it is unusual for a decent person to tell an outright lie in public.
Very good.
Nevertheless, even now that he has shared the information with three people, it remains forbidden for the listeners to believe the account conclusively and to thus view the subject, i.e. Shimon, with disdain, as we explained above in Clause 7, Sif 1.
Oh.
Right, because the people he talks to, they don't necessarily know, what all the steps he's gone through. All they know is he's telling them something bad about somebody. So they're not allowed to believe it. They're allowed to be suspicious, but they're not allowed to believe it. So what's the point of his telling them? I would think that he wants to tell the victim. He either wants to go to the authorities, the police or the rabbi, because they can do something about it, or he wants to tell the victim, I saw him break into your car.
Okay, so again, we said the toelis is you have to go back to you have to go back to what it was the toelis is that he's trying to accomplish over here. What's defined as a toelis? The toelis is not that they should believe that the story that they're hearing is true. That's not the reason why the speaker has to fulfill all these 7 conditions. It's not it's not so that the reason is because like if he fills all the 7 conditions, it's not regarded as forbidden lashon hara.
Right.
Why not? One of the main reasons is that because like this, the people won't suspect that he's simply denigrating him for to have benefit enjoyment of denigrating this person because he has some personal vendetta against him, or for some other reason. But he said when we discussed the beneficial things is that it's not so much that they believe that what they're hearing is true, but that they should they get the message that this type of activity is highly improper, and they'll be encouraged to not engage in such activity themselves. The purpose is to distance other people from this type of activity by seeing the way that this person is publicizing it and thereby denigrating this activity that this person did.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that.
Here, this is what we saw. In Sif Daled.
Sif Daled. All the way back in Daled. There has to be a constructive result. They need to be capable of helping the individual who was the victim. That's the first constructive result.
Yeah, that.
To distance people from the path of iniquity. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's what's defined. Those 2 factors are what's defined as the benefit that needs to be present in speaking about this person in public.
So let's say the issue is that the person is committing adultery.
Yeah.
So now he says, well, I want to denounce him because I want to discourage other people from committing adultery.
Yeah.
So does that mean he can only tell married people about it?
Unmarried people can't commit adultery? Of course they could. What's the definition of an adultery? Of violating a married woman. The man doesn't need to be married, but he's violating a married woman.
Right.
That's adultery. He's chayiv misa.
Okay. So that means he basically should tell everybody about this. I guess
everybody needs to know not to engage in adultery. That's true. Yeah.
Except unmarried women.
Unmarried women. Well, what if they consent? Oh, uh-huh. Well,
Or can you say, well, maybe she'll get
well,
married and then she'll remember this lesson?
well, I don't know if we need to be so restrictive. There's so many different prohibited relationships between men and women. This is just one example.
Right?
Uh, an unmarried woman could be involved in in an Isser chorus, in an Isser Mises Besdin also with with somebody who's usher to her, Isser chorus or Isser Mises Besdin, even though she's unmarried.
The reason I'm asking this line of questioning is because my understanding from what I've learned in the past about the general principle of speaking Lashon Hara is that you don't want to have an attitude that, okay, I've got carte blanche. Now that X has happened, I can go and blab about it to anybody I want for, in any context. You still want to be circumspect about, what is my reason for telling this to the person I'm telling it to? Is there something constructive about it? Now we're saying, well, we just want to influence them to not sin. It sounds dangerously like a carte blanche.
Why is this not a good reason? I don't understand. This would sound to be a very good reason. That's the right. That's the last pasuk in Koheles. Sof davar kol nishma. Es elokim tira. Es mitzvos of tishmor kizeh kol adam. That's what a person's all about. Doing the mitzvahs and not doing averas. So you're encouraging them in doing it to not do one of the averas, which is one of the most severe averas that there is. And the Gemara says a person has a tremendous desire for arias, for forbidden relationships with women. So this is to speak about this is I can't think of a bigger toelis. Even if he doesn't commit the sin with relations, but even forbidden viewing of women is all the letters that written by the rabbis against phones where Jews can find all sorts of pictures on them. They're making a big deal about this, very big deal. What are they making such a big deal about? It's a big deal. Yeah.
So let's say the avera is that a person is what they call a womanizer. He's somebody that is looking, not only looking at women, but trying to have relations with them.
Yeah.
And perhaps succeeding.
Yeah.
So I feel like, well, I should be publicizing the fact that this is no good behavior, because anybody could fall into this bad behavior.
Yeah.
So is that appropriate? Say, so and so, he's a real womanizer. Stay away from him.
Yeah, you're protecting people from you're protecting women from talking to him, have anything to do with him. And you're also encouraging men by your denigration of this type of activity that they should stay far away from themselves, because they don't want to be the subject of such denigration that people talk about them publicly like that. So that'll encourage them to also stay away from such type of activity. Nobody wants to be denigrated in public.
Yeah. Okay, I hear. Anyway, our time is up.
Anyway, the time is up. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi. Appreciate your time.
Very good.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
Okay, Baruch Hashem.
It's still an unknown about this afternoon.
Okay.
All right, let's see.